Yeah, good morning, everyone.
Morning,
Morning,
sir.
sir.
Good
Good
morning,
morning,
sir.
Morning,
sir.
sir.
Okay, so today we'll start with the biochemistry classes. And just before I go to the topic, have you seen the syllabus for the
No, sir.
biochemistry?
No, sir.
No, sir.
You have not seen it. Okay, so I'll try to share it in the next class. I'll give you that one. Uh, then, say biochemistry, there are three units. So the first unit, it is the general biochemistry, which mainly deals with the biomolecules. Okay. So in this part, the first topic is the scope and importance of the biochemistry. Then the other will be dealing with the other biomolecules like carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, nucleic acids. So these are the biomolecules that we are going to study in the first unit. The second unit, we have the metabolism part. So all the biochemical reactions, especially with that of the carbohydrates, proteins, nucleic acid, lipids, all that will be dealing it. The third unit is mainly the diagnostic biochemistry. So that is the application part of the biochemistry that we are going to study in the third unit. Okay. Same thing in the practical classes, we have the three units. So the first unit, it is related with the first unit of the theory. Then second unit also. So all this unit 1, 2, 3 of the practical, it is also related to what we are going to study in the theory classes. Okay. Now these three units, it may be we are planning that these are taken by the different teachers from our department, and I will be mainly concentrating on your practical part. The theory parts, the other teachers, they may be taking it. Okay? But I'm for the few classes, the beginning classes, I'll be taking your classes. So today I'm starting with the what is biochemistry. Then what is its important? What are the things that we do in the biochemistry? Okay. So this is the topic that I'm going to cover today. So anyone who can define me what is biochemistry or what does the biochemistry do? Yes, anyone? What does what are the topics that you expect that you'll be dealing it in biochemistry? Okay, let me start with the first topic, that is the scope and importance of the biochemistry. So biochemistry, we all know that is the application of the chemistry to the study of biological processes, because inside our body many reactions are occurring. Okay, so this is just the application of the biochemistry to the study of the biological processes at the cellular and molecular level. So this is what we mean by biochemistry. Okay. Now this branch of the life science, it emerged as a
Sir,
distinct
sir,
yes, pardon.
some students are still waiting.
Hey, your voice is not clear. Please tell me again.
Still waiting.
Hello.
Sir, some students are still waiting.
Okay, I do not know. Let me see. Huh? Or I don't know where it has gone. Actually, this our computer operator has just shown and gone. It is where to enter. It is not coming. Let me call the this one. Okay, please wait for a few minutes. ꯃꯣꯏ ꯑꯦꯗꯃꯤꯠ ꯇꯧꯒꯗꯧꯗꯣ ꯀꯥꯏ ꯇꯧꯕꯅꯣ ꯑꯦꯗꯃꯤꯠ ꯇꯧꯒꯗꯧꯕ ꯁꯥꯇ꯭ꯔ ꯈꯔ ꯃꯣꯏ
ꯑꯩ ꯇꯧꯒꯦ ꯑꯩꯁꯨ ꯒꯨꯒꯜꯗ ꯁꯤ ꯅꯝꯕꯤꯌꯣ ꯑꯗꯣ ꯁꯤ ꯂꯩꯇ꯭ꯔꯣ ꯁꯤ ꯅꯠꯇ꯭ꯔꯣ ꯑꯃ ꯑꯂꯩꯕ ꯑꯅꯤ
ꯖꯨꯝꯅ ꯅꯨꯡꯉꯥꯏ
ꯃꯔꯤ ꯁꯤ ꯃꯤꯇꯤꯡꯅꯤꯅ ꯃꯤꯇꯤꯡꯒꯤꯅꯤꯅꯦ ꯁꯦ ꯃꯤꯇꯤꯡꯒꯤ ꯄꯣꯠꯅꯤ ꯑꯃ ꯃꯤꯇꯤꯡ ꯈꯛ ꯇꯧꯕꯩꯅꯤ ꯑꯩꯅ ꯀꯟꯅ ꯍꯥꯏꯕ ꯃꯤꯇꯤꯡꯒꯤ ꯌꯥꯝ ꯅꯨꯡꯉꯥꯏꯕꯅꯦ ꯃꯤꯇꯤꯡ ꯇꯧꯕꯩꯗꯤ ꯁꯤ ꯅꯨꯡꯉꯥꯏꯕꯅꯤ ꯑꯗꯨꯒ
ꯖꯨꯝꯅ ꯌꯥꯝ ꯅꯨꯡꯉꯥꯏꯇ꯭ꯔꯗ
ꯀꯥꯏ ꯁꯤ
ꯁ꯭ꯀꯣꯞꯁꯤ
ꯇꯧꯁꯦ ꯃꯅꯨꯡꯗ ꯁꯤ ꯂꯩꯇꯦ
ꯍꯧꯖꯤꯛꯀꯤꯗꯤ ꯁꯤꯗ ꯀ꯭ꯂꯤꯛ ꯇꯧꯒꯗꯧꯅꯦꯕ
ꯑꯣ ꯃꯤꯅꯤꯃꯥꯏꯁ ꯇꯧꯕ
ꯅꯪ ꯈꯛꯇꯪ ꯍꯥꯞꯆꯤꯜꯂꯛꯏ ꯌꯥꯒꯗ꯭ꯔꯥ
ꯍꯧꯔꯕ
ꯍꯧꯔꯦ ꯁꯤꯗ ꯀ꯭ꯂꯤꯛ ꯇꯧꯒꯗꯧꯅꯦꯕꯀꯣ
ꯑꯍꯥꯟꯕꯗꯤ ꯁꯥꯔ
ꯅꯪ ꯈꯛꯇꯪ Okay, so now we'll continue again. So this branch of the life science, it emerged as a distinct discipline around the beginning of 20th century when scientists combined chemistry, physiology, and biochemistry to investigate the chemistry of the living system. Okay? So from the above, we know that, so this is the science which study the chemical substances and the vital processes occurring in the living organism. Okay? So the main area which this subject is dealing is that what are the chemical substances that are occurring in the living system and the reactions of these chemicals in the living organism that constitutes the biochemistry. Okay? So we also call it as that it studies the life at the atomic and molecular level. Okay? It focuses heavily on the role, function, and the structure of the biological. So it is just the repetition of the statements that I'm giving it. Okay. The study of the chemistry behind the biological processes and synthesis of the biologically active molecules are the examples of biochemical processes. Now, the aim of this subject is to describe and explain all the chemical processes of the living organisms and their interactions with the environments, both in health and disease conditions in the molecular terms. Okay? So this is the main aim of the biochemistry, that it tries to explain the chemical processes that are that are occurring in the living organisms. So in the normal conditions, in what way these reactions are occurring, and in the disease condition, what changes it occurs in this type of the reactions. So most of the disease condition is just due to the deviation of the chemical processes that is occurring in the normal processes. Okay? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll move to the next this one. So what is the scope of the biochemistry? The scope of the biochemistry, it is very wide as the life itself. So wherever there is a life, the chemical processes are occurring, because the life itself is the process, okay? The chemical processes. Once these chemical processes stop, then there is no life. The death means there is no chemical processes in the living organism. So until and unless there is a chemical process in the living system, there is a life. So life means it is the chemical processes, and once these chemical processes stop, there is no life. It is called the death. Okay, so that means whenever there is a life, chemical processes are occurring. Biochemistry is concerned with the entire spectrum of the life forms. Okay? So that is, it may be from relatively simple viruses and bacteria to the complex human beings. Okay? So even the evolution of the life, which started with the chemical evolution, works at the molecular level, at the level of the DNA. So by now we already know that how the life evolves. So initially there was no life, there was no these organic molecules and all that. So whatever was available in the atmosphere, that is inorganic molecules, it slowly combines to form the organic molecules. These organic molecules, it assembles, then the life begins. So this has been experimentally proved. Then I don't know whether you have come across or not the Miller's experiment. So which shows that the different inorganic molecules, it combines in presence of the water, then the sparkling of the the light and all that. That changes to the organic molecules. Then the different organic molecules, they assemble. That then the life begins. Okay, so this has been already proof. Okay? So all these processes, we know it is just the biochemistry. So living organisms are enormously diverse in appearance and function. So we know it that say there are different living organisms. It may be the viruses, bacteria, birds, say even the plants, the trees, grasses. So then human beings, all that. Okay? So these are the different forms of the life. Okay? So and these differ greatly. All these organisms, it differ greatly. Yet the biochemical research has revealed that all the organisms are remarkably alike at the cellular and chemical levels. Okay? So though there is a different forms of the life or the organisms, if you see at the molecular level, then all these the molecules that are occurring in the living organism and the chemical reactions that are occurring in these different forms of the organism or the life, it is same. Okay? Say you may take it that the process of the glycolysis. So glycolysis, whether it occurs in the bacteria, it occurs in the plants, it occurs in the small animals, higher animals, and all that. If you see it, it will be same. Okay? So glucose molecule, it will be same in all the forms of the life. So if you see at the molecular level, then the molecules that are existing in these organisms and the chemical processes that are occurring in the cells, it is same in all the organisms, whether it is the plant, whether it is the microorganisms, or whether it is the higher animals. Okay? So this is revealed by the biochemistry. The tools for research in all the branches of the medical science are mainly biochemical in nature. Okay? So whatever the tools that we are using in the research for the different branches of the medical science, it is mainly the biochemical techniques. Because life depends on the biochemical reactions, so biochemistry has become the basic language of all the biological sciences. Okay? So whatever that you may be dealing in the different branches of the science, basically it will be all related to biochemistry. In fact, all barriers among the life sciences are breaking down, and biochemistry is increasingly becoming their common language, because all these branches of the life science, basically it is dealing with the biochemistry. So biochemistry is the common point of all these branches of the life sciences. Say genetic engineering. So genetic engineering, we know that it is the DNA technology, which we also call as the genetic engineering, the gene manipulation and all that. Then recombinant DNA techniques. Okay? So this is a branch of the biochemistry, and it is the most advanced and sophisticated tool of the biotechnology. Now, genetic engineering has applications in the fields of the medicine, agriculture, animal farming, ecology, etc. Okay? So this is just showing that the one branch of the biochemistry, how it is applied in the different fields like the medicine, agriculture, veterinary sciences, ecology, etc. Advances in biochemistry are enabling researchers to tackle some of the most exciting questions in biology. Okay? So there are many exciting questions in the biology. So these questions, it can be answered by the advances in the biochemistry. So what are the important questions that arise in our mind? That is, how life evolved on Earth about 4 million years ago. So that I was just mentioning about the Miller's experiment. So Miller's experiment, it tries to explain that how the life evolved on the Earth some 4 billion years ago. Okay, so this is how biochemistry is trying to explain that how the life evolved on the earth. Okay, say secondly, or the second question, it may be how a single molecule of the DNA replicates to generate two identical copies of itself. So you'll be studying this, that in the DNA replication from a particular DNA, the exact replica, okay, the replica of the DNA is formed. So for one molecule of the DNA will give rise to two replicas of the DNAs. Okay, so how this is formed? So that will be explained by the process of the biochemistry. How does a cell divide, or how does a fertilized egg give rise to the cells as different as those in the muscle, brain, and liver? So we know that the cells that exist in the muscle, brain, heart, liver, whatever that the organ in the body, these are all arise from a single cell. So, but we know that the cells which are in the muscle, it may be in the brain, liver, heart, this and all that, these are performing different functions. Okay? So these cells which are performing the different functions in the body, they arise from a particular cell. So how it is possible? So biochemistry, it tries to explain that how the fertilized, from a single fertilized egg, it gives rise to the different types of the cells in a living organism. Okay. So how does the senses work? How does the immune system distinguish between the self and non-self? So in the immune system, we know that the body has the mechanism that what it can sense, that what are the molecules which are present in the body, that what are the molecules present in the cell, that is the self molecules. Or if some are entered it, that system, it recognizes that this molecule is a foreign compound. Okay, so then the other molecules which are present, it can be detected itself. So that our body system, it has the mechanism to identify the molecule, whether it is from the cell itself, from the organism itself, or this has been entered from the outside. It is a foreign molecule or not. Okay. So this again, the biochemistry tries to explain this reasoning. What are the molecular mechanisms of the memory and behavior? Okay. So some may be very good in memory, so all that things that biochemistry does. The which molecules are involved in processes like sleep, aggregation, and various moods and emotions. Okay, so all these questions, the biochemistry, it tries to give an explanation to these questions. Okay, what are the application of the biochemistry in say different branches? Say it may be in the field of medicine, it may be in the field of veterinary sciences, it may be in the field of say pharmacology, it may be in the pharmacy, in the field of say agriculture. So how the knowledge of the biochemistry is applied in different areas. Okay, so let's see what is its application in medicine. So medical biochemistry, it deals with the chemical aspects of both the health and diseases. Okay, so the medical biochemistry, it tries to explain the chemical aspects of that in the normal condition as well as in the disease condition. So in normal biochemical processes, the normal biochemical processes are the basis of the health. So if everything is occurring in the normal, there is no disease. So when these biochemical processes are altered, then the disease conditions it develop. Okay. Conversely, every disease has a biochemical basis. That is, all the diseases are manifestations of the abnormalities of molecules, chemical reactions, or processes. So this is what I was trying to explain, it that when there is a abnormality in the molecules, say it may be the carbohydrates, it may be the proteins, it may be nucleic acids. So when there is some abnormalities, okay, say if the protein is not normal, it is abnormal. So it may be because of the mutation, some amino acids in the protein, it may be deleted or it may be modified. Okay, then some of the bases, the nitrogenous bases present in nucleic acids, it may be altered. So when there is a change in these amino acids or the nitrogenous bases in nucleic acids, that leads to the disease condition. I'm not telling that every alteration will lead to the disease condition. So there are some alteration. When there is some alteration, then it may lead to a disease conditions. Okay, that is one. Secondly, when these chemical reactions that are occurring in the living system, when it deviates from the normal reactions, okay, then it may lead to the disease condition. Okay, so that is what we are telling here is that when the molecules they are abnormal, okay, when they are abnormal, that are not normal molecules, or when the chemical reactions that are occurring in the system it is altered, then it leads to the disease condition. So if you want to know the disease condition, that how it has occurred, then you need to know that the root cause. Okay? The root cause, it may be due to the changes in the molecules, okay, or it may be due to the changes in the chemical reactions that are taking place. So once you know that these changes has occurred, then it will be easy for us to rectify that problem. Okay, so we can solve the disease condition. And knowledge of the biochemistry is essential to the understanding of all the branches of medical sciences. So that is what we are just explaining, because we need to know the root cause of this disease condition. So once you know the root causes, it is easy for us. All branches of medical sciences, especially the physiology, immunology, pharmacology, pharmacy, toxicology, pathology, general medicine, psychiatry, etc. Okay. So in pharmaceutical industry, for example, biochemistry is useful in the rational design of the new drugs. Okay. So drugs, we know that it may be the inhibitors of the different enzymes, okay. Then many other, mainly that it tries to check the enzymes, or it may be try to block the organisms, okay, the replication of the organisms in the body. So how you'll replicate, how you'll block the this one, the proliferation of the microorganisms, so that we can check it by certain chemicals which can block some of the enzymes, so that the microorganism will not replicate. It will not propagate in the system. Okay, so to know all that things, we need to have the knowledge of the biochemistry. Okay. Say, for example, specific inhibitors of enzymes are required for the replication of the viruses, such as the human immunodeficiency viruses. So this particular virus, for its replication, that certain specific enzymes are required. Now, if we are in the position to block these enzymes, if these enzymes are not allowed to function, then this virus will not be able to replicate it. Okay, so this is just one example. The similar cases, the similar principle may be applied for the other disease conditions also. Techniques of the genetic engineering, that is DNA technology, recombinant DNA techniques. So the most advanced branch of the biochemistry have many medical applications. Okay, so the genetic engineering has the many applications in medical sciences. Say the basic research for understanding the structure and the functions of the DNA protein. So the first application is that we need to know the structure and the functions of the DNA protein. So this has to be done by the biochemistry. So diagnosis of genetic and microbial diseases. So by the techniques of the biochemistry, then we can diagnose the genetic diseases or the other microbial diseases. Okay, say you will come across when we study the second unit that there are many diseases which are related to the metabolism. Okay? When the metabolic reactions are altered, it may lead to a disease condition. Okay, you must have heard of the albinism. So in albinism, what happens is that the amino acid tyrosine is not properly metabolized to form the melanin. Okay, so because of that, there is a lack of the melanin in our skin, which causes the disease. Okay, so like that, when a particular molecule it is not metabolized properly, then it may lead to the disease condition. Okay, same thing if you take the case of the diabetes mellitus. So in the case of the diabetes mellitus, what is the problem? The problem is that the glucose molecule, it cannot be metabolized properly. See, it may be due to the defect in the hormone insulin. Okay, when the hormone insulin is defective, then the glucose molecule, it cannot enter the cell. So this molecule, the glucose molecule, it will build up in the blood. Okay, so it causes glycemia. So the level of the glucose in the blood will be high, and the level of the glucose in the cells will be less. So what is the problem? The problem is that the cells will not get the glucose, which has to be used for the generation of the energy. So the cells will not get sufficient amount of the energy. On the other hand, the glucose, it is built up in the blood. So this is a condition which we call it as the scarcity in plenty. Okay, there is a plenty of the glucose molecules in the blood, but there is a scarcity of the glucose in the cells. Okay, so this is mainly due to the defect in the either in the insulin, or it is due to insulin receptors. Okay, then forensic applications, this is a very important part in the investigative biochemistry. So here, the biochemical techniques, it can be used for solving the disputes of parenthood by DNA fingerprinting. So if there is a dispute, who is the parent of that particular child? Okay, so that by the technique of the DNA fingerprinting, we can find out that who is the father of that person. Okay, so like that, biochemistry can help in this to solve the dispute. Then production of the proteins. Okay, so in pharmaceutical industry, for example, this is used for the replacement therapy, so like insulin. So insulin, in case of the diabetes mellitus, there may be less amount of the insulin. So to solve this problem, what we can do is that we can inject the insulin. Okay, so this is it is done nowadays, that insulin, it may be produced. So this insulin is given to the person so that his deficiency of the insulin will be solved, so that the problem of diabetes will be solved. Okay, so this can be synthesized. The insulin can be synthesized outside the body. In fact, it is the first protein that is produced by the recombinant DNA technology. Okay, so insulin is the first protein that has been produced on the commercial scale by the recombinant DNA technology. So this insulin, it can be given to those persons which cannot synthesize the sufficient amount of the insulin in their body. Okay. Second is the disease prevention, so like the vaccines. Okay, so we know that what are that vaccines and all that you will be studying in more detail, so I'll not go to that. So the synthesis of the vaccine productions, so the biochemical techniques are involved in that. Diagnostic tests, so nowadays the monoclonal antibodies, they are very much in use in the diagnostic of the diagnostic tests. Okay, then treatment of degenerative diseases like the gene therapy. So I say there may be a mutation in the gene, in a particular gene, a nitrogenous base may have been replaced by the mutation. So this can be corrected by the gene therapy. We can replace that particular nitrogenous bases so that the gene becomes a normal one. Okay. So all these are the biochemical techniques which are widely applied in the medicine. So most important use of the medical biochemistry, however, is the biochemical tests done in the clinical laboratory. So if you go for any, say, if you have some health problem and all that, if you visit the doctor, the first thing that the doctor will be asking you that what are the problems that you have it and all that. So from there he will know that what may be the problem associated with you. Okay, so he needs to confirm that. So for that, what he'll say that you just go to a clinical laboratory, take your blood sample, then analyze these parameters. So this is very common nowadays, that if you are going for any treatment, most probably you will be asked to go and analyze for some of the biochemical parameters. Okay, so this based on the information that he is getting from the biochemical parameters of your blood, then he will confirm that disease condition. Okay, so that is the diagnostic biochemistry. So the uses of biochemical tests are in number one in the diagnosis. So What is diagnosis? It is confirming or ruling out the clinical diagnosis and assessment of severity, extent of diseases, and the prognosis. Okay? So he has just suspected some disease condition, that this may be the disease condition. He asks for the biochemical test, Based on that, he will confirm it, that what he has suspected, it is the case or not. So that has to be done by this diagnosis. Okay. Second is the monitoring. So following the progress of the disease and its response to the treatment. So once the disease condition is identified, then we give the medicine. Then that has to be followed. Is there any progress? Is there any improvement in the disease condition after this treatment or not? So that has to be done by the analysis of this biomolecules in the blood. That is what in most of the cases it is done. Then screening of the diseases. Okay, so to detect the early diseases or the risk factors to develop the diseases. Okay, so this is also done by the biochemical techniques. So in short, what are the applications of this medicine? The biochemistry in the medicine, it is mainly in the diagnosis, monitoring of the disease conditions, then screening of the diseases. Okay, so these are the biochemical tests that is done in the clinical laboratory. So in conclusion, we can say that the application of the biochemistry in medicine is that it is used to understand and reveal the fundamental causes and the mechanisms of disease processes. Okay. Secondly, to assist the diagnosis, monitoring, and screening of the specific diseases by the judicious use of the various biochemical laboratory tests, to suggest the rational strategy for the treatment and prevention of the diseases. Okay, so this is broadly what we are applying the biochemistry in medicine. Okay, any question? Hello?
Hello. No, sir.
Any question?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, so now let's continue with this one. Okay, then the other application is, let's say, in physiology. So biochemistry helps one to understand the biochemical changes and the related physiological alteration in the body. Okay. Pathology of any disease is studied through the biochemical changes, because any disease conditions will lead to the change in the biomolecules. Okay, so if we want to know it, that what are the changes that are occurring in, then we'll be able to diagnose it. Okay, so in pathology, so based on the symptoms described by the patient, this is what I was explaining it, the physician can get a clue on the biochemical changes and associated disorders. So based on what we explain it to the doctor can guess it that this may be the disease condition. So he will guess it that what are the biochemical changes that may be associated with this disease condition. Okay. For example, if a patient complains about the stiffness in the small joints, then the physician may predict it to be gout and get confirmed by evaluating the uric acid level. So if the doctor suspects that somebody is suffering from the gout, then definitely he will ask that check the level of the uric acid in the blood. Okay? So just by, if the level of the uric acid is very high, then definitely this will be accumulated in the soft tissues. Okay? In the soft tissues, which results in the gout. So if somebody is suspected to be the gout, definitely we have to go for the estimation of the uric acid. So if the level of the uric acid is higher than that of the normal, then this may be a confirmation for the gout. Okay. Next, nutritional deficiency. So in the present scenario, many people rely on taking multivitamins, minerals for the better health. Okay. The function and role of the vitamin in the body are described only in the biochemistry. So in biochemistry, you'll find it may be there in the case of the nutrition also, but in biochemistry we try to explain all the details of the vitamins, their chemical structure, then what is their role in the body. Say, if we take a vitamin, say suppose vitamin B1, then say vitamin B1, what is the role in our body? So that we try to explain it in biochemistry. Say it may be involved in the acyl group transfer reactions. So there are many acyl group transfer reactions, say like the conversion of the pyruvate to the acetyl CoA. Okay, so that is simply an acyl group transfer reaction. So here, if vitamin B1, which we call as the thiamine, if it is deficient in the body, then this reaction cannot occur. Okay? So the importance of the vitamin B1 we will be explaining. So biochemistry, it tries to explain that what is the mechanism, in what way the vitamin A, it helps in the conversion of the pyruvate to the acetyl CoA. So like that, there are say vitamin B6. So it's involved in the transamination reaction. So when the amino acids are metabolized, okay, then how this vitamin B6 it helping in the metabolism of the amino acid. So if that vitamin B6 is absent, then that reactions will not occur. So this way, it will be only the biochemistry which tries to explain the mechanism of the action of these vitamins, so that you're sure that what is the specific role of these vitamins. Okay. Hormonal deficiency. So there are many disorders due to the hormonal imbalance in especially the women and children. The formation role of hormones in the normal body function is taught in the biochemistry, by which the physician can understand the concerned problem during the treatment. So here I was speaking about the insulin. Okay, so like say insulin, what is the function, how it expresses its activity, what is its role in the glucose transport. So all these things, it will be explained properly in biochemistry only. Okay, so that means to know all these things, we need to have a strong knowledge of the biochemistry. Okay. Importance of the biochemistry in the clinical biochemistry. So the importance of the clinical biochemistry is to have in monitoring the patient's condition regularly during the treatment. Okay, so some of the conditions is that the kidney function test. Okay, so in kidney function test, kidney, so this is a very important part. Okay? If there is a problem in the kidney, that what are the tests you have to do it. So this will be mainly done by the biochemistry. So blood tests, simply for any disease conditions, we may do the estimation of the biomolecules. We may do the estimation of the diagnostic enzymes. Okay. So all that things. Okay. Say liver function test. So it tries to help to understand the type of the disease or damage to the liver, the effect of any medication on the liver, etc. Okay. And serum cholesterol level. So all these things, whatever that we are doing in a clinical biochemistry, it is just for the confirmation of the disease. So if you want to confirm the disease condition, then you have to go for the clinical biochemistry tests. What is the importance of the biochemistry in nutrition? So it is biochemistry describes the food chemistry. Okay, for maintenance of the health, optimum intake of the many biomolecules like the macromolecules, micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, essential fatty acids, water, it is necessary. So how it is necessary, this will be known to you only when you know the specific function of these molecules. Say it may be the macromolecules, macronutrients, it may be the micronutrients like the minerals and all that, then the vitamins, then the proteins, amino acids. So all these things, when you know the specific function of these molecules, only then you can understand their importance. Okay, so if you want to know all these things, you need to have the knowledge of these molecules. Okay? Food chemistry gives an idea of what we eat. So why we are eating the food. Say, suppose today in the morning you have taken something, you might have taken the bread. Okay, so simply the nutrition will say it is the bread, it may contain this and all that. But biochemistry, it tries to explain it. Say suppose in the morning you have taken the bread. The bread mainly it is of carbohydrates. Okay? It also contains some amino acids, proteins, and all that. So biochemistry will try to explain it that the carbohydrate that you are taking it is metabolized in this way. It tries to give the energy. Okay? The protein you are taking it. So if this is the protein, if it is the wheat, these are the amino acids that will be essential, that will be present. These are the amino acids which may be explained in there. So how it will be metabolized in the body, that the biochemistry tries to explain. So whatever that we are taking it, what is the consequence, what is the importance, that we biochemistry try to explain it. Okay. The role of the nutrients. So due to biochemistry, the importance of the vitamins, minerals, essential fatty acids, their contribution to the health were known. Okay? So all this importance, it is known because of the biochemistry. Hence, there is a frequent recommendation for inclusion of crucial amino acids, because some essential amino acids are there. So why they are essential, that will be explained by the chemistry. Okay? Cod liver oil, salmon, fish oil, etc., by the physicians and the other health and fitness experts. So all this inclusion of these crucial molecules, it is based on their biochemical functions. The nutrient value of the food material can also be determined by the biochemical test. So biochemical test, it tries to find out the nutrient value. Food adulteration, even the composition of the food material produced, their contamination or unwanted mixing can be identified by the biochemical test. Okay? For example, honey contamination can be identified by field haze test. Okay? So biochemistry tests help to prevent the contamination. Okay? The physician, it can prescribe to limit the usage of the certain food, like the excess sugar for the diabetes, excess oil for the heart and the lungs problem, prone patients and all that. Okay? Then what is the application of the biochemistry in pharmacy? So in pharmacy, many drugs are stored for regular dispensing. Okay, so the biochemistry tries to explain that the drug constitution. So biochemistry gives an idea of the constitution of the drug. Okay? So what is the composition of the drug? What should be the composition of the drug? So the biochemistry, it tries to explain it. Then how it changes with the time, okay? With the storing. So that the biochemistry will be explained. Okay? Its chances of degradation with a varying temperature, etc. How modification in the chemistry of the medicine helps improve efficiency, minimize the side effects, etc. Okay? Then the half-life of the drugs. So this is a test done on the biochemical drugs to know how long a drug is stable and kept at so and so temperature. So when we kept the drug at the different temperatures or in the different conditions, then how far it is stable. So that has to be explained by the biochemical test. Drug storage. So the storage condition required can be estimated by the biochemical test. For example, many enzymes, hormones are stored for dispensing. So these get deteriorated over time due to the temperature or the oxidation, contamination, and also due to the improper storage. So how it is deteriorated, how much it is deteriorated, has to be find out by the biochemical test. Okay. Then the metabolism of the drugs in the body, it has to be analyzed by the biochemical test. Okay. So biochemical test, this test help to fix the specific half-life or the date of the expiry drugs. So from all this, we know that the knowledge of the biochemistry is very much required for the drugs or for the medicines. Okay. So these are some of the scope or the importance of the biochemistry in the different areas, especially to the life sciences. Okay. We have 10 minutes. Shall we continue, or you want to leave it here? Hello.
Yes, sir.
You want to continue, or shall we stop here? I think we can stop here. We have only 10 minutes now, so we can stop here. Next time, I'll be taking off. I'll be taking off the biological membrane, okay? Biological membranes and the transport across the biological membrane. So that will be the next topic for the next class. I think that is on Thursday. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so we'll meet
Okay, sir.
on Thursday with the biological membranes. For today, we'll stop here.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.